YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And it's Sunday and it's game day, and I'm answering all your questions, your starts and sits, and I also got the weather, guys. So with no further ado, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. So let's get to some of the news before we get started on the weather. Okay, hope everybody having a great day. Let's get these championships. Okay. So, guys, let's start with Kansas City Chiefs, L'Jarius Sneed, the cornerback, the one that we was worried about mirroring Jamar Chase. I'm still not worried about him. If you don't have anybody really an upper echelon wide receiver, you have to start Jamar Chase. But L'Jarius Sneed is a game time decision. Also, guys, Raheem Mostert is out. So Devon A-Chain to me is a low-end RB1. He's a low-end RB1. He's a must start if you have him on this team. You can't, if you got A-Chain, I don't think you can get anything better. This is almost like a Christmas gift for you. Now, I'm not saying A-Chain is going to go out here for 30, 40 points, but you ain't got to worry about that turmoil of him being on your bench and going off. You don't have to worry about that. You got to play him now, and that's a good thing. And 9 times out of 10 situations, you got to play him. Also, Alvin Kamara will play. Will play. Let's see here. Zay Jones, the wide receiver for the Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars, he will not play today. And Jamar Chase is trending towards playing. We know that. Cole Kmet, the tight end for the Chicago Bears, is considered a game time decision. Jeff Wilson will have an expanded role. So if you have Raheem Mostert, is it okay to go to Jeff Wilson? Yes, it is okay, but don't expect him to give you Mostert numbers. Just expect him to be safe. If you got another good bench player that you was trying to make a decision out of, then that guy, you got to put that guy in your lineups. Find out a way to finagle that. Jordan Addison will play. Jordan Addison will be playing week 17 for the Minnesota Vikings. Kenneth Walker is expected to play with a shoulder injury. He re-injured it last week. So if you want to play Charbonnet as a late dart play, you can do that. Jacoby Brissett is unlikely to play week 17 and will undergo pregame workout Sunday to determine his availability. So we don't know who's going to be the quarterback for the Washington Commanders. I still like Terry McLaurin. To talk about it, go back a little bit about last night, guys. Jahmyr Gibbs was a great play. He just didn't get the touchdown. If he would have scored one time, it would took his he would have outscored David Montgomery. It was just whoever gonna get the touchdown. But Jahmyr Gibbs got more opportunities than David Montgomery did. He just didn't cash it in. So don't necessarily think you made a bad play. You made the best play. This guy for the last 7 weeks was second to CMC as a fantasy running back. Let's see. Zay Flowers is expected to play for the Baltimore Ravens. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Zay Flowers is expected to play. Matt Eberflus, which is the head coach for the Chicago Bears, is expected to be the coach going into 2024. I think that's a good thing. I'm trying to see if there's any other news right now. Guys, if there's any other news, make sure you spam the chat. Let me know. Guys, help me out. If you know any news or something pop up while I'm doing a live, just put it in the comment section. I would appreciate it, guys. We help each other out here. I don't claim to know it all. Also, guys, before I get started on the weather, I just want to address a couple of comments. I don't want to derail our day, but I do want to address a couple of comments. It's nothing negative. But a guy... He was new. He was a new subscriber, and he said something about, hey, man, I told you David Montgomery. And this is what I want to say. Bro, I never said David Montgomery was a bad start. But if you ask me to start David Montgomery or Raheem Mostert when he's active, I'm going to say Raheem Mostert. I'm going to say a guy who's getting the full workload that's a top 5 RB. I'm not going to be able to tell you what the coach is going to do when they get to the 2-yard line, if they're going to put David Montgomery in or if they're going to put Jahmyr Gibbs in. I'm just going to give you the guy who's going to get the opportunities. So here on my channel, we make our decisions before and we go down with the ship. Not saying we can't be accountable, but it's all about the opportunities. We don't know what the coach is going to do. That's why you got to stick with your guys from week to week. Sam Laporta had a great game this week. Last week, he had a bad game. Was it anything different? No, the only thing difference was it just the game flow went towards his way. So you just have to just start these guys and let the chips fall where they fall. So let's get to the weather. Let me share this screen. Okay. Let's start with the okay, let me do entire screen. I'm going to do entire screen. All right. So New England and Buffalo, outside game. It's going to be cold. Looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game. So that, to me, I like the Buffalo defense. And just to talk about that a little bit, I'm starting to think they a tie between them and the Raiders this week because of the cold game. Now, that doesn't mean that points can't be scored, but I like playing Buffalo against New England, even though New England can still win this game. I think this game could go under 32 points. I really believe that. New England defense is really good, and Buffalo defense is not top, but they are solid, especially against a New England Patriots defense who don't have maybe one weapon or two weapons out there. So 36 degrees Fahrenheit, and also 9 miles per hour wind on the outside. That's nothing to worry about your kickers, but I wouldn't necessarily want to play the kickers in that game. You can, because they probably going to have 2 or 3 chances to kick 40-yard field goals, but it is in the cold. So I'd rather have a dorm, high-scoring kicker game. Moving on to the Atlanta and Chicago. That's going to be outside at Chicago, 37 degrees, 12 miles per hour. I'm playing all my running backs for Atlanta, which is Bijan, not necessarily Algier, unless you're in a deep, deep league. I'm still playing Drake if I have to, and I'm playing Khalil Herbert if I have to. You know you're playing Justin Fields and DJ Moore and Cole Kmet if that's the only tight end that you have. The wind is up, so if you can pivot on the kickers with Johan Koo or Santos, you can do that. Moving on to an inside game, which we're not worried about the weather because it's inside, is the Las Vegas and Indianapolis. So it's an inside game. We're not worried about that weather. Another game, which is going to be outside, is in New York. It's the Los Angeles Rams against the Giants. Now, it's going to be 46 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 8 miles per hour. That's an NFL game at this time of the year. This is a solid game. So I'm starting Matt Stafford and all his weapons, right? If you want to play DeMarcus Robinson, just depending on your lineup, you can. And the Giants, I'm playing Saquon. I'm not sitting him. I don't care what he scores. That's how I do it over here at my channel. I'm not trying to be your scapegoat and give you somebody to say, you didn't hit or you did. I'm right now. You hold me accountable. If you don't like that I'm saying play Saquon, then this is not the channel for you. And I say that all very, very respectfully and calmly. I'm going to go down with the guys that I'm going to dance with the girl that I came to the party with. I like girls that like me. I'm not chasing girls that don't like me. So Saquon is the guy that I drafted. He getting the workload on the goal line. I feel great with Saquon no matter what happens. If I lose or if I win. So I'm playing Saquon. If I need to play Darren Waller, I'm willing to play Darren Waller also. I have to pivot. Actually, I'm pivoting to Darius Slayton. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Spam the chat right now. Okay, so I have Raheem Mostert. And I got Raheem Mostert, another really good running back, and another good running back. I took that other running back out the flex and placed him for Raheem Mostert, and I need somebody for the flex. I don't have anybody on my benches. I got a lot of defensive stashes. There's nothing on the waivers. I went to Darius Slayton. I didn't have anything else. I went to Darius Slayton over a Hunter Henry. That's a tight end. I went to Darius Slayton. Let me know who you think I should go to. Should I go to a tight end or should I go to Darius Slayton? Going down to Arizona and Philly. This is in Philly. It's cold weather. It ain't cold, but it's decent weather. It's good football weather. I'm starting all my Eagles. Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown. Now you might say, and also Swift. You might say, well, all of them can't be top. Well, it doesn't matter. You don't know which one is going to be top. So you have to start your guys. It's kind of like not Russian roulette, but I would say the roulette in Vegas. Put your chip on the number and let the thing roll. You can't sit there and say, well, I'm not going to play AJ Brown because maybe they got a tough matchup. That's how you get burned. And I don't want to get burnt that way. Pause. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to start my guys the starting that studs against good matchups. If it was a very tough matchup, that may be one thing, but I'm starting all my Eagles, even DeAndre Swift. I love him this week. Arizona, I'm starting Kyler Murray and I'm starting James Conner, even though he got one of the toughest matchups all year. But if you go watch and look at James Conner history, he's been scoring against the toughest run defense. I mean, he's played a top 5 run defense three times the last 5 weeks, and he's still been a top 5 RB. So I'm willing to play James Conner and also Trey McBride as the number 1 wide receiver / tight end for this team. All the other wide receivers are kind of like chopped liver. You throwing dice with those guys. Moving on to the New Orleans and Tampa Bay. This is in Florida, so great weather. We're not worried about it. So you start all your guys. You starting Baker. You starting Rashad Wright. And Chris Godwin has arrived. He is a start now in PPR. He's getting a lot of targets. People are taking away Mike Evans and making Chris Godwin beat them. New Orleans Saints, you got Derek Carr, the garbage king. Derek Carr is the garbage king. So I'm willing to play the New Orleans Saints. Shaheed, if you need that boom. Chris Olave is going to get 12 targets. Jawan Johnson is a dart throw at the tight end position, but you can play him. No Taysom Hill for me. I'm done with Taysom Hill for the rest of the year. They moved on from that type of offense. Alvin Kamara, I am starting him. He could have a 4-touchdown game. When guys are sick, don't pivot off of them necessarily. When they sick, humans can push through and have big time games or do tremendous things. It's something about humans when we get downtrodden like that. Going on to the San Francisco and Washington games, you starting everybody from San Francisco, from CMC to Debo to Kittle to Ayuk to Purdy, Brock Purdy. Yes. Washington, the only person that I'm willing to start, I'm not even wanting to start Brian Robinson. I'm probably going to start because Brian Robinson is active today, but I'm probably just going to start Terry McLaurin. That's it. Maybe Logan Thomas in a deep league. Nice weather too for Washington. It is a little, 51 degrees. You can't beat that in December. Going on to the Carolina-Jacksonville game. This is in Florida. Good weather. It's in Jacksonville. Carolina, you can play Adam Thielen. He's a wide receiver 3. I like Chuba Hubbard. I think he's the top 24 RB all week. He's a star. Jacksonville, Travis Etienne is a top 12 running back against this matchup. Don't get scared off of Travis Etienne. Go ahead and play Travis Etienne. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. 7 miles per hour wind. I'm not worried about any of the kickers. Going on to the Miami, which is the game to me of the week. I don't know why this game is at 1 o'clock. It should be like a nighttime game. I love this game. But Miami, they will be without Waddle and Mostert. They will be without Waddle and Mostert. So Tyreek Hill is a start and A-Chain is a start. Baltimore, you can play Justice Hill if you need to in a deep league. I actually like Gus Edwards for a goal line touchdown. And I'm starting Zay Flowers. And the rest of the guys are kind of this. If you need on a need basis, if you need ODB, you start them. If you need Isaiah Likely, you start. They not must starts per se, but you can start them. Tennessee and Houston. This is the dorm game, so we're not worried about the weather, right? I'm sorry, I didn't talk about the Miami-Baltimore game, but the 51 degrees Fahrenheit, we're not worried about that. That's a good weather game for December. It's a beautiful Sunday morning across America. Tennessee and Houston. Houston, I'm starting C.J. Stroud and Nico and Dalton Schultz, and I'm also starting Devin Singletary. Tennessee is very volatile. I start D-Hop because of the, it's a revenge game for him again. And I'll start Derrick Henry. That's about it. And Chigo Okonkwo. Pittsburgh, Seattle. I like Seattle defense. I'm a little nervous with it just a little bit because I think George Pickens still could ball. But I do like Seattle defense today. It's rainy. Always rainy in Seattle. And let's see. 80% chance of rain. I'm still starting DK. I'm still starting Geno and Tyler Lockett. And for Pittsburgh, I'm starting George Pickens. And that's about it. That's the only person that I can trust from the Steelers. And going on to the Chargers and Denver game, it's going to be a little cold, but I still think it's going to be okay to start your guys. I might start Jarek Stidham in the league. That's about it. And I like Javonte Williams and Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy should be a good play with Cortland Sutton being out. The Chargers, I think you can start Austin Eckler today as a top 24 running back. I'm also willing to start Quentin Johnson and also Gerald Everett. Them are the only guys I'm willing to start. Going on to the Kansas City-Cincinnati game, Pacheco is starting, so CH is downgraded. I like Rice and Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes. That's it. You can start Pacheco if you need him. Cincinnati, you can start in Jamar Chase if he's active, and you can start T. Higgins even if you need him. I'm not saying he's top level. You can start him if you need him. Outside of that, you can start Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon should be fine, but Kansas City defense, I do like their defense this week too also. And it is an outside game, and it's going to be kind of cold, but it's still decent. It ain't like super cold or anything where the guys won't be able to play on the offensive side. Going on to the Green Bay and Minnesota game, tonight's game, I'm only person I'm starting is JJ. This is a dome game, so I'm only starting JJ and Ty Chandler. JJ and Ty Chandler. For the Green Bay Packers, I'm starting Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, and Jaden Reed, and Tucker Kraft if I need him. But it's going to be cold, but we don't care about that because it's in the dome. So let's move on, guys. Okay, so let's see who's the member. Big Will, what's going on with you, bro? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you, Stacy. Big Will says Zamir White or A-Chain. I'm going with A-Chain slightly over Zamir White because of the boom. I like both of the guys. They both are starters. And I know this is not for you, Big Will, but I don't want these new subscribers coming in and trying to talk about if I tell you play A-Chain and Zamir outscore him. Listen, that's your team. That's why I started posting my team. I'm not making no decision and being upset because I got to choose between Zamir White and A-Chain. That's on you. That's almost you setting yourself up to fail. You can't. Ain't no way. It's going to take God to figure who gonna outscore when you got two running backs who's getting opportunities, right? Outside of CMC and a couple guys, who knows? So I'm going down with A-Chain between Zamir White and A-Chain because most is out. So I'm going with A-Chain for the boom. And if A-Chain don't score that much, I'm willing to go down with that ship. But to me, both of those guys are starts. And the way I do zero RB, those are two starter guys for me. But I'm going with A-Chain, Big Will. Let's see here. Mr. Grapefruit, good morning, bro. He says, happy Sunday. Need one wide receiver out of these guys. T. Higgins, George Pickens, and Zay Flowers. I'm going with Zay Flowers in 4 PPR. I think he get a couple more targets than George Pickens. It is a tough matchup. Zay Flowers play really good against because Lamar pushes the ball downfield in tough matchups. He actually throw the ball over 30 times in tough matchups. So I believe Miami can be a tougher matchup to make Flowers be able to get 8 to 10 targets, which makes him a top 12 wide receiver in 5 of those games this year. So I'm going with Zay Flowers slightly over George Pickens. If you wanted to go with George Pickens, it wouldn't be a bad play. I think George Pickens is a top 24, maybe a little bit outside of that wide receiver this week. I just can't trust Mason Rudolph, especially going against a great secondary like Seattle, where they really good in the secondary. They can be head in the run game, but their secondary is strong. Kale says, set Flacco because of the Jets. Who would you pivot to? Tyrod Taylor, Stidham, or Mason Rudolph? Bro, that's a tough question. That's very, very tough. Woo! I'm gonna go with Tyrod Taylor, but I don't feel great about that. I'm not gonna sit here and cap. It's between Tyrod Taylor and Jared Stidham. I know Mason Rudolph had a good game, but I respect the Seattle secondary. I really do. This time of the year, they're trying to make the playoffs. So I'm gonna say Tyrod Taylor slightly over Jared Stidham. I like the way Tyrod Taylor plays when he has Saquon and he also has Jalen Hyatt and Darren Waller. So I'm gonna go with Tyrod Taylor slightly over Stidham, but like I said, I don't feel great about that. That's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one. Ali says Jags, Raiders, or Texan defense, bro. I'm gonna go with Raiders over the Texans defense. I'm gonna go with the Raiders defense over the Texans defense. I think the Texans defense has a decent matchup, but they got Derrick Henry. You got to respect Derrick Henry to a certain extent. He's not chopped liver, no matter what. He's a Hall of Famer, walking Hall of Famer, even though he's older. So I'm gonna go with Raiders defense slightly, and the reason why I'm going with the Raiders is because of what they did last week, and they've been on fire the last 5 weeks. They've been probably the number 3 defense in 5 weeks. Yes, sir, Big Will. And I know, like I said, I wasn't really directing that at you, or I'm not really directing that in anybody. But for the new people, they come to this channel and think I'm like the other channels. And because I see those comments on the other channels where they every time somebody give them something wrong, they judging them, and you got to have perspective. Because this is the reason why I chastise a lot of people when they ask questions. Because when Cortland Sutton outscores Jamar Chase, nobody says, man, why did I play Jamar Chase? You didn't say that, right? So you got to look at that every single time. You got to go down with your studs. And if a stud don't ball out, you can't get mad because a guy that like is a second fiddle guy outscores him, right? That's how fantasy goes. So Weeby says A-Chain or Zamir White. I'm going with A-Chain, bro, slightly. That looks like that's going to be the question of the day. I'm going to go with A-Chain slightly over Zamir White. I believe both of those guys are starts, but I'm going to go with A-Chain slightly over Zamir White. Yes, sir, bro. A-Chain over Zamir White. Yes, sir. You know I got you. You didn't have to put the question in there twice. I got you because you are a member, bro. I appreciate you, Weeby. Yes, sir. Let me go to a Facebook question. Josh, what up, bro? He says, would you play Olave or Devontae Smith? And also, would you run King Henry or Joe Mixon? As always, appreciate this cutting edge content. Anytime, bro. I would go with King Henry over Joe Mixon. And I would probably go with Olave slightly over Devontae Smith, even though I believe Olave and Devontae Smith are both stars. So I think you should be starting both of those guys. So I'm going to say Olave, though, just between those two guys, which nobody knows, right? Because those both are stars. It's just whoever get open, right? Again, that's kind of another thing that I like to talk about. I want to teach y'all the little nuances of fantasy, how it's about going down with the ship. That's what it's really about. It's not really none of this who going to guess the correct way. That's like playing roulette in Vegas and y'all want to go and subscribe to the guy channel who said hit 7 and it rolls on 7. That makes him the best? No, nobody knew. Olave and Devontae Smith, who knows who's going to outball who, right? Because both of those guys are top-end wide receivers who get a lot of targets. So I'm going to say Olave slightly just because I think he might be the number 1 target getter over Devontae Smith. Appreciate the most wanted. He says, I said Ferguson. Let's go. Still have a chance starting Zamir White, Kamara, Connor, Kelsey at tight end, Broncos or Raiders defense. So good job with sitting Ferguson. Me, I would have started Ferguson in my leagues because that would probably been the only tight end I have. I wonder what tight end that you have that you could have set Ferguson because that makes good context, right? If you set him and you had a guy like let's see here, Jawan Johnson, that's cutting edge content. But if you had another stud, then that wouldn't be hard to do. But he says, I still have a chance. Starting Zamir White, Kamara, Connor, Kelsey at tight end, Broncos or Raiders defense. I respect the Colts. I really do respect the Colts. I don't respect the Chargers. I do not respect the Chargers. I like both defenses this week. I'm going to go with Broncos defense because I don't respect the Chargers offense. I don't respect Easton Stick. I do respect Gardner Minshew, even though he has a hell of a matchup. And the way they played against the Kansas City Chiefs, I still think they can shut down the Colts offense. But I'm going to go with the Broncos. I'm going to go with Broncos slightly. Anybody that got the Raiders, don't be scared off of them. We just talking about the lesser of two evils right here. Not lesser of two evils, but which one you're going to pick between when both, like if you got two girls, you got to pick for them. Both of them are pretty. Does it really matter? Right? As long as you find both of them attractive, I find both of these teams attractive. So if you're going to make me pick, I'm just going to get very narcissistic and I'm going to go with Broncos. Elisa, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. The most wanted. Appreciate that, bro. Elisa says, thanks for your help, bro. Anytime. Anytime. Ali says, pick one. PPR, Puka, Zamir White, Rashid Weiss. I think you got to go with Puka. Puka got too much upside. Puka could be a CeeDee Lamb. He could be Amari Cooper. He's that type of player. So I'm not going to sit Puka. Again, this is a very tough assessment. And like I said, everybody going to have problems where you have tough players to play. But Zamir White has a great matchup today against the Colts. Rashid Rice is the number one wide receiver with a decent matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. But Puka is him. And the Giants defense ain't garbage, but they can be had. I'm going to go down with Puka. I think he has the most upside of all these guys. And I think the upside is how you break down these three guys. I don't think you go with safe with these three guys because none of these guys are necessarily safe. They all are starters. So which starter is going to boom the most, has the potential to boom the most. And Puka going to get targets. He's not no 3 or 4 boom guy. He's an 8-9 target boom guy. So I'm going to go with Puka over Zamir White and Rashid Rice. Wesley says, maybe I missed it, but did you mention Kyle Pitts? I did mention Kyle Pitts. I like Kyle Pitts. I'm willing to start him in certain leagues. Kyle Pitts is one of the guys where I kind of play him at tight end. I will give y'all context. Mr. Anderson, he hit me up a couple times like, man, you play Kyle Pitts. He ain't done nothing. I said, bro, I'm going to keep playing him. And then he have 2 or 3 good games, and then he'll fall off. I'm going to keep playing. That's how I do my tight ends. If I don't go get a Kelsey or a top tight end, I'm just going to get a guy, and I'm going to play him every week and let the chips fall where they fall. Because tight ends, to me, nobody else is scoring a bunch of points outside of a guy that you get drafted, right? You might as well play that guy because he's going to have a good week, one of those weeks, right? So I do like Kyle Pitts just to let the chips fall. I think he's a guy who can have 2 touchdowns in any game, especially with Desmond Ridder being set. Appreciate that, Wesley. Elisa says, good morning, TD. Should I play Fields over Stafford because of the weather in Chicago? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break it down to you like this because that's a great question. I think Fields got the boom. If you got this game, Elisa, and you got good players to play, Stafford gonna be safe. Stafford ain't gonna give you 3 points. Justin Fields could give you 3 points. It's possible. We seriously doubt that, but he could give you 3 points. I don't think weather is the deciding factor. I think your team is the deciding factor. Are you okay with having 18, 19 points on Matthew Stafford and trusting your other players, or do you need 30 points, 40 points, 30 point, 40 points? If you need 30 point, 40 points, Justin Fields can give you 30 point, 40 points. Stafford can too, but he's the safest guy. So sometimes you got to go with a guy that I don't need to build a city in one that night. I just need to build a road to get to where I'm going. I just need to be safe. So I think Stafford is safe, but I think Fields has more upside. But Fields could also give you 3 points. I don't think Stafford will do that. So you're going to have to pick what you need for your team. If you got like Tyreek Hill and you got really, really strong players and you already got some boom and you're not behind like 40, 50 points already, then I will go with Stafford. But if you need 40 points, 30 points from a player in your lineup, I will go with Fields. Big Will says better DST this week, Eagles or Rams? I think the Rams is a better DST this week. I don't like playing. The reason why I'm going to say, now listen, the Eagles go out and shut down the Cardinals. I'm going to be, so you're going to have to make that decision. But I think Kyler Murray is a quarterback that all game he can be scoring points. He can get down by 14 points. And in the fourth quarter, he scored 2 touchdowns because of garbage time. Garbage time is very, very important in fantasy. So you got to watch out for garbage time. I don't know how your DST scores, but I don't want to be playing against Kyler Murray in garbage time thinking that they're going to shut him down. Alisa says, I'm behind. I had Gibbs last night. So if you behind him, maybe you might want to go with Justin Fields. But it depends on the rest of your team. Gibbs is not going to make you lose. So it just depends on who you're going against, what you think about that team, and if you got other strong players. But since you want to go off Jahmyr Gibbs, if he your best boom guy that you had, then maybe I would go with Justin Fields to give me more upside. But don't be upset if he give you 8 points and Matthew Stafford give you 23. Because, like I said, Jahmyr Gibbs don't make you lose. So you got to be willing to go down with whoever you're willing to go down with the ship in that type of context. Let's see here. Josh says, I have Tyreek and Devontae Adams as my 2 starters, so it's tough when I have these guys on my bench. I understand. So you got to choose between those guys. I understand that. Sometimes we get in leagues like that. Let's see. Also, you trust in Dalton Schultz or Kyle Pitts? As always, appreciate your advice. I'm going with Dalton Schultz with CJ Stroud playing. With CJ Stroud, I'm going with Dalton Schultz. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Alibaba says Mixon, Kittle, Higgins, CEX. I'm going with Mixon. To me, is a low end RB2. So, and Higgins is a low end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3 flex play. CEH is downgraded to a flex play at the most. Kittle has the great matchup. Now listen, can Ayuk get those touchdowns? Could Debo get it? Could it be all CMC? Could it be Juwan Jennings? I'm going to say Kittle, man. I'm saying that you need to get Kittle in your lineup because of the matchup he got. So I want to give you that context. I don't want you necessarily to say Kittle and then Mixon end up getting 1 touchdown and outscoring Kittle. I'm just telling you that Kittle needs to be in your lineup against Washington. That's all I'm saying. Even over Higgins. Higgins' matchup is not Kittle's matchup. CEH is a backup today, even though he could come and get a couple touchdowns. Mixon is a low-end RB2. I do got respect for that because he is a starting running back, but I still got to go with Kittle against Washington, where everybody's eating against Washington. And they lost last week. So this is a get-back game. They can't lose 2 games in a row. Brian says, we still starting Waller over Schultz. No, no. Did I tell you to start Waller over Schultz? Maybe earlier before I knew CJ was going to be healthy. With CJ being healthy, I'm going to go with Schultz over Waller. Waller's okay. He got some potential, some boom potential, but I probably would go with the known commodity. I'm sorry, guys. I can't say the word. Over Schultz. I mean, over Waller. So I'm going with Schultz over Waller. I'm definitely going with Schultz over Waller. Ian Taylor says defense call with 2 Dolphin studs out. Is Ravens over Bills a better start for turnovers? I like the way you put that. Yes, it is. With only Tyreek out there, no Mostert. I'm not gonna sit here and cap on no Ravens. I like the Ravens. The Bills is good too. Okay, defensive call with 2 Dolphin studs out. Is Ravens over Bills a better start for turnovers? Yes, I think Tua can put the ball in the air more than what Bailey Zappi's going to do because Bill Belichick is big with turnovers. Maybe if they get a strip sack from Bailey Zappi, that might be the best thing they can do. But I would say Ravens slightly over Bills, even though the Bills has a fantastic matchup. But with Mostert and Water being out, I'm going to go with the Ravens. Great question, Ian. Charlene says, TD, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Charlene. Samuel says, what up, bro? Great call on Breach Hall. Took your advice and started them. Right, bro. And again, I respect, I commend you. Thank you, bro. But I was going to start Breach no matter what. I've been starting Breach, bro. Look how many times I told you to probably start him and he didn't hit. And this is what I mean. Like, I'm going, it's kind of like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm going to tell you to start Breach regardless, 9 times out of time. But I do, yes. It ain't, I don't really play. It might be some fantasy gurus out here who can tell you to sit, and I don't want to use CMC. That's kind of disingenuous, but to tell you to sit CMC on a bad matchup, I can't do that. I'm always going to tell you to play Breach Hall because he always going to get the work. The team is building their teams around, building their philosophies around these guys. Anytime you're getting a philosophy built around you, I'm going to tell you to play him and be ready to take the good with the bad. Y'all see my lineups. I'm going to show y'all, listen, after tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to come on. I'm going to have a live. I'm going to show y'all all most of my teams. I'm going to show you where I played guys, where they went crazy and nobody else believed it. And I'm going to show you times where I played them and I was totally wrong. But I don't care about being wrong because I was going to start my studies. So appreciate you, bro. Ruiz, what's going on? Thank you, Ruiz. He says, Bills or Chicago defense? I'm going with the Bills defense against the Patriots over Chicago defense. Ian Taylor says, smash the like button, fellas. Let's get the likes up. Let's see how many likes we got. 24 likes. Let's get it up to 30, guys. We got 35 people in the chat. Let's get it up to 30. Kale says, Chris Godwin, Romeo Dobbs, Ty Chandler, Jalen Warren, pick one in the flex. I'm going with Chris Godwin in full PPR. I'm going with Chris Godwin. Robert, he says, need 3, A-Chain, K-Will, Kamara, Connell, B-Rob, and need 2, London, Judy, Rice, Ridley, Hutchinson, through the galaxy. Yes, Hutchinson, Aiden Hutchinson, Ball. So on your 3, I'm going with A-Chain. Wait a minute, let me see. I'm going with A-Chain, K-Will, and Connor. Now listen, this is your decision. Do you want to play Kamara over Connor or A-Chain? You can swap them out for Connor or A-Chain. I'm not playing Kamara. Reason why over these guys is because he's sick. So I'm gonna use that little small detail, which I think is small, when you got upper echelon guys like that. So that's when stuff come into context. Outside of that, Kamara's a star, but I'm not gonna start him over A-Chain today with Raheem Mostert being out and also Connor getting a full workload. And you know K. Will is a top 5 running back, so I'm starting him easily. Between you say you need 2 between London, Judy, and Rice and Ridley. I'm going with Judy and Rice. I'm going with Judy and Rice. Samuel says 4 PPR, flex 1. Diggs challenge Zeke. I'm going with Diggs. That's again, guys. Diggs could go out there and give you 6 points, and I'm gonna tell you tomorrow, Diggs was the right star. I don't care if Ty Chandler go for 40 points or Zeke go for 40 points. I'm going down with Diggs. So I'm just giving you context. The reason why I'm picking. I don't want you to think I'm picking him because I think Diggs is gonna have a Amari Cooper game or something. I'm picking Diggs because he's the number 1 wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills with a good quarterback. So that's why I'm going with Diggs. Marcus says, good morning, half PPR. Hubbard, Warren, Mostert out. I'm going with Hubbard. I'm going with Hubbard. Reed says Lamar or Stroud. I'm going with Lamar. That's a tough decision, but I'm going with Lamar. I'm dancing with the girl that I came to the party with. I'm not looking for nobody else. I'm going down with Lamar. Guys, I appreciate the guys at the bottom of the chat being patient. I will get to your question. I just got to be fair to everybody. For betting people, Bengals upset Kansas City. I ain't gonna sit there and say that's wrong. This is football. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Robert says, I'm down on Bijan in London because of weather. I actually like Bijan because of weather. Then last time he fumbled because he's from Texas, right? I love Bijan in weather games. I love Bijan today. I could be wrong, bro. So you could be right. I'm just giving you my opinion, right? But I love Bijan today. Diesel, what's up, bro? He said, Zay Flowers to be trusted today? Yes. And you say trusted, I'm gonna trust them every week, especially if they had a tough matchup. It just depends on what you got on your team, Diesel. Samuel says, Happy New Year, y'all. Lions got robbed. They did get robbed. And that was a bad call to go for the 2-point conversion. That was an emotional call. I understand it. I respect it in a way. In a way, I respect it. In a way, I just thought it was very emotional. I think they would have beat the Cowboys if they went overtime. I guess he felt like he couldn't stop CeeDee Lamb. And so his defense, they can be had, guys. Anytime you're going against the Detroit Lions, that secondary, you need to play that wide receiver. Yes, sir. Good morning, bro. If I didn't go to that already, I apologize if I didn't. What about the LA Rams defense? They okay. They are a solid play. I still like Saquon Barkley, but that don't mean that the Rams can't have a great game. It could be a low-scoring game, but be careful with Tyrod Taylor. He could be a top 5 quarterback in a vacuum, just like Jarrett Stidham did last year. You got to watch out for these backup quarterbacks coming in, especially when they got good coaching around them. And the coaching need to win the game in order to keep their job going. Dylan, what's up, bro? He says, one last time. You good? Happy holidays, New Year's. Attending my first bar crawl tonight. Okay, what's a bar crawl? I don't know what that is, bro. Let me know. Put me on game. He says, anyways, got some fantasy championship questions. I got you. What's up, Bike? What's going on with you, bro? He said, IU Connor Kamara full PPR. Man, I'm gonna listen. All three of them are good starts. You can't go wrong either way. But let me chop it down to fine onions. Let me chop it down to potato skins. Let me get cute. Let me get all the way down to the molecule. Ayuk. The reason why is the matchup. Connor is a start, man. He's an RB1. Kamara is maybe sick, but I still like him. I still think he would finish as at least an RB2, a top 24 running back. He still can catch 5 or 6 passes and score 1 touchdown for about 15 points. Ayuk, though, can have a 70-yard bomb against this Washington when they CMC is eating them up, getting 15 yards a carry, and all of a sudden they play action, and Ayuk hit him for a double move. He can score a 70-yard touchdown. So that's boom. And he should get 6 or 7 targets today. I would say Ayuk out of those 3 guys, not because he's going to he's clearly a boom crazy guy, just because I'm just trying to get cute to find out which 3 of those super guys you're going to play, right? That's like saying, who's the best right here? Superman, Spider-Man, or Doctor Strange? Who you going to play? Or who going to send out to get the bad guy? All of them probably can win against the bad guy. So I'm just gonna choose the one that got the best matchup. Maybe the guy's scared of spiders, so I'm gonna say Spider-Man, right? So I'm gonna say Ayuk in that situation. Dylan says all start sit full PPR. Stroud versus Tennessee or Fields versus Atlanta? I'm gonna go with Fields versus Atlanta slightly, even though they in bad weather, and it's because Stroud hasn't played in 2 weeks. So that's my reason. If that don't matter to you, then I'm gonna say Stroud, because that's the deciding factor. If Stroud had been playing, say Stroud had been like a top 12 quarterback the last 2 weeks, I probably would tell you Stroud against Tennessee. But because he's been out with a concussion, I'm going to go with Fields. So if you say, well, TD, I don't think that matters. I think Stroud's still going to be him. If you still think he's going to be him fully, then go with Stroud. For your one running back, Connor, Singletary, and White. Just to narrow it down, I'm going to go with Zamir White over Connor. I like Connor, but I like Zamir White. Connor and Singletary don't have a boom. Like if it was A-Chain, I might would tell you to play A-Chain. Because of the boom potential of A-Chain. But Connor, I think he's just going to be solid against Philly. I don't think he runs wild against Philly. I think Zamir White could run wild against Indianapolis. I think he can have 2 rushing touchdowns against them. They can't stop the run to me. So I'm going to say Zamir White slightly over Connor. Slightly. If you want to go with Connor, there's nothing I would say. As far as the 2 wide receivers, Ayuk, Reed, and Diggs, I'm going with Diggs and Ayuk. And the one flex, I would go with Connor over Reed. I see you, bruh. I see you, Jeffrey. Yes, sir, bruh. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, cuzzo. Dylan says also need 1 DST, Bills DST or Denver versus the Chargers, and 1 kicker, Buckner, Cincinnati, and McLaughlin, New Orleans. For the kicker, I'm gonna go with McLaughlin versus New Orleans. And for the DST, I'm gonna go with Denver because I don't trust the Chargers offense. I don't trust Easton Stick. That's the deciding factor over the Bills. I like the Bills, but I don't trust Easton Stick. CHB with the CD Lamb draft pick. I'm gonna start calling you CHB. I'm gonna start calling you CD. It ain't gonna be CHB, it's CD. That's what your name is, bruh. CD. Happy holidays, bruh. Yes, sir. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. He says, happy holidays, bruh. Final week, but this has to be in a crazy, great season. Already looking forward to next year. CD might have won me the chip. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most Wanted says, I set Ferguson. Let's go. I still have a chance. Great job, bro. Great job sitting Ferguson. Because I know I probably told you to play Ferguson, but it depended on who you had on your team. Like I said, and I still would tell you that. That's why you have to make your decision. Because Ferguson, the only reason why he didn't boom, he had a couple passes where he could have went for 40, 50 yards, but the defense barely made a play on it. He got a lot of targets. That's how it happens. That's fantasy football. But great decision, though, bro. John Cutter, what's up with you, bro? I'm sorry if I didn't get to your comment earlier. He says Stafford or Stroud today. I'm going with Stafford. I think he's a little bit safer, not knowing what Stroud been through. He could go out and be rested. He is still a rookie. Also need to start another quarterback at flex on another team. Options are Jaren Hall, Bryce Young, and Tyrod Taylor. I will go with Tyrod Taylor. Kenny, what's up, bro? He says, Ken, folks, Happy New Year's. Tucker Craft or Darren Waller? Kamara or KJ Osborne? Only cost Kamara sick. That's easy. Kamara easily over KJ. But between Tucker Craft and Darren Waller, I'm going to still go with Tucker Craft. I know Tyrod Taylor's going to not hyper target, but he's going to target Darren Waller today. I can't trust Darren Waller. He's not trustable, but he is a great talent, but he's just not trustable. Tucker Craft, you can trust him. He's been getting about, I think out of the last 3 weeks, he got about 16, 17 targets. That means he's averaging about 6 targets a game. So I'm okay with targeting Tucker Craft. Most Wanted says Zamir White to the moon. Yes, sir. I agree with that. You got to try to get him in. You got to try to get him in your lineup today. You got to try. Yes, sir. Big Will. Knock. What's going on, Knock? He says, do I know Knock? I don't know if I know him or not. I think I might know him. Maybe I'm off, bro. Maybe I'm being crazy. But it says Jefferson or Chandler PPR. I'm going with Justin Jefferson. I'm going with Justin Jefferson all day. Duncan says, what up, bro? You don't like Addison tonight. I don't. Not with Jaren Hall. I can't trust it. That don't mean he won't boom. It's just about the trust. Like, that's the way I make my content. I make content, guys, not that what I'm saying is going to happen. I make it as I'm giving you, it's almost like a real estate agent. Do you like this house? The real estate agent ain't going to tell you need to buy this house right here. They're not going to never tell you that. They're going to say, here's this house. They got steps. They got an attic. They got the kitchen has been redone. You got the new installation. That's all I'm telling you. I'm just giving you the context, and you got to make the decision. So I don't like Addison myself. I don't like Addison. You says in Pitts or Dortch. I'm going with Pitts over Greg Dortch. I like Pitts over Greg Dortch. Remember Occam Razor. Guys, go look that up. I'm gonna make shirts and I'm gonna put Occam Razor on them. And that's gonna be I'm gonna put, and it's gonna be a shout out to homeboy Silence. He's the one that helped me with that. He said, man, Titty, you got that Occam Razor type mentality, and it's great, and it's the only one on YouTube with that type of mentality. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Kenny. Appreciate that. Justin says, who do you like? James Cook, Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, or Chuba Hubbard? Need two, please. I'm going with James Cook and Aaron Jones, and Chuba Hubbard slightly neck in third. So if you want to use Chuba Hubbard to replace any of those guys, I would do that. I wouldn't put Jamal Williams on the field. I wouldn't put Jamal Williams on my team, on my lineup. But James Cook and Aaron Jones, slightly over Chuba Hubbard. Amy, I love to see females in here. That means that I'm growing. That means that YouTube is sharing my content. She says, good morning, PPR. Would you pick Carr or Murray? I'm going to go with Kyler slightly, but I'm going to tell you this, Amy. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Both of them are great garbage time quarterbacks in fantasy. Garbage time is probably, it shouldn't be called garbage time. It actually should be called money time. When teams get down, especially in the championship week, and they at the end of the season, they basically giving you 50 or 60 yards. The defense is going to play prevent and let you score and let you almost get it down there because they're just going to give you points. So I think both of these teams can be up for that. But I think Murray even more because I think Philly don't want to get their starters hurt. Where I think New Orleans and Buccaneers are going to be playing for a division title. So they might not be having any garbage time. It might be tight the whole game, which is tough to get points sometimes that way. I like the Eagles being up 28-14 with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and Kyler Murray scoring 2 more touchdowns. So I'm going to say Kyler Murray slightly over Carr. I just feel like I can't play Tua. I understand that, especially with Jalen Waddle being out. But let me tell you something. Tyreek Hill could go out here and win a split MVP with Lamar Jackson because he could go out here and ball out, and Tua could still throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns. If they didn't have Tyreek, I would think you needed to get off of him. But I understand, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you need to play Tua because I respect what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. When I play him, he busts. Would you pick Bears or Raiders? I would go with the Raiders slightly over the Bears. The Bears they're a good defense. They've been top 6 the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to still go with the Raiders defense, who's been crazy out of their mind. Samuel says, I'm sorry. Yeah. Samuel says, at Chaos, risky try quarterback haul Vikings. Millie says, thoughts on Alvin Kamara today against a good Bucks defense? I'm playing them, just depends on who I got. If I got some studs, and I'm playing the studs, but if I ain't got nobody else, I'm not sitting on Alvin Kamara for nobody off the bench. I'm not sitting for no Ty Chandler. I'm playing Alvin Kamara over Ty Chandler. So if that gives you any kind of context, hopefully that helps out. I think he can still be solid. I still think he can catch 5 or 6 passes and score 1 touchdown. Shane says flex options, half PPR. Higgins, Waller, Lockett, Demarcus Robinson, Brian Robinson, Addison. I'm going to go with Lockett over Higgins and Demarcus Robinson and Brian Robinson. I'm going with Lockett. Kale says Zamir or Ty Chandler. I'm going with Zamir over Ty Chandler. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we got in here. JS, what's going on, bro? What's up, boss? JS says, would you start Devon A-Chain? Yes, I would. He is low-end RB1 for me. He's borderline top 12 running back for his potential, right? Being that and potential is 2 different things. Evan says, I have 3 options for defense today. Colts, Raiders, Chiefs. Which one do you prefer? I prefer the Chiefs slightly over the Raiders. Slightly over the Raiders. Also, you trusting Dalton Schultz or Kyle Pitts? I'm going with Dalton Schultz. I think I already answered that, but I'm going with Dalton Schultz over Kyle Pitts slightly with CJ Stroud being his quarterback today. Amy says, good morning. PPR, which, okay, yeah, we did that one already. Right, we did that one. Knox says, Stafford or Mahomes? We're going with Mahomes. Let me tell you why. It's not that I think the Mahomes are going to outplay Stafford. So this is why I'm going to help you make the decision. But I'm going to go with Mahomes. Hopefully this can direct you what you should do. I'm going with Mahomes. The reason why I'm going with Mahomes is because I can't have him on my bench in a championship game, because if he boom, I can't live with myself, because that's Mahomes, right? Let's think about if CMC was going up against a team defense, and they've been shutting everybody down all year. Nobody's had over 50 yards rushing on them. And then CMC go for 200. You'll be sick because you're like, well, that's CMC. I should have knew better. That's the same thing with Mahomes. He's automatically a Hall. He can retire today and he will be a Hall of Famer, first ballot. One of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time. If he retired today, he got about 15 more years left in him probably. So I would say play Mahomes over Stafford, because that's the play that I'm willing to go down with the ship. If you just ask me to get straight analytical, it would probably be Stafford. JS says Henry or Hubbard. I'm going with Henry over Hubbard slightly. That's King Henry. I'm still giving him some respect. Put some respect on his name. That's King Henry. All goal line opportunities going to him. And he actually been holding off Tajay Spears a little bit lately. Brian says Josh Jacobs officially ruled out. Zamir White to the moon. Yeah, he been ruled out. Josh Jacobs been ruled out. They said it was doubtful. Once you go to doubtful, you don't come back from the dead like that. No pun intended. You don't come back from the dead like that. Puka A-Chain. I'm going with Puka over A-Chain. You got to play Puka. That's like a Amari Cooper. That's a CeeDee Lamb type. You don't sit those type of guys. Puka should not be asked about. He should be an easy start. I hate to tell you sit A-Chain. I'm not telling you to sit A-Chain, but when you ask him, that's why I try to tell guys, that's why y'all should be following me in the offseason. I know some of you can't help it when you got 18 leagues and 10-team leagues. You can't help this. But you should not have guys. If you got too much talent, you can get beat that way, because you're going to be picking between, should I play CMC or Kyron Williams against Washington? You're going to be like, you're going to have to make those type of plays. And I don't think you should make those type of decisions. I think it should be a lot easier than that. So front load your team with pure super studs, and that way you might have to make 1 or 2 decisions every week between one wide receiver and maybe a tight end. Eddie says, what up, bro? Need a flex, 4 PPR. Zamir, Jaden, Lockett, Chandler, and Devontae. Thanks and good luck to everyone this week. I'm going with Zamir over Devontae and Lockett. I'm going with Zamir over Chandler, Devontae, and Lockett. I like a lot of those guys that you're talking about. I like them, but I think Zamir got the sauce over those guys. So I'm going to go with Zamir. Jeffrey, what's up, bro? He says Kyler or CJ. I'm going with CJ slightly over Kyler. CJ over Kyler. Back pains. Love that Dragon Ball Z. One of my favorite animes. Javante Connor, D-Rob for flex. I'm going with Connor slightly over Javante. I like Javante matchup against the Chargers, but I'm going with Connor. I can't sit Connor. Knox says Mahomes or Stafford. Again, I'm going to go with Mahomes because I can't sit him. Johnny, appreciate that, Johnny. Johnny says Devontae Smith or Zamir White. Tomato. Both of those guys are equally ranked, and I would project them to both score about the same amount of points. But I'm in a full PPR. I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with the wide receiver, and I'm gonna go with Devontae Smith slightly over Zamir White. But you can't go wrong either way. Yes, sir. He is. He's been ruled out. Back pains, and it's supposed to snow at the Birds game today. Yeah, they saying that. I looked at the weather a few minutes ago. They didn't talk about a lot of snow, but it can be. But that doesn't stop you necessarily. You can't go off that to make a start to sit decision, unless it was like crazy wind and you couldn't throw the ball. You can throw the ball in the snow. JT says, "I'm worried about Judy questionable with illness." Yes, that does matter, but it just depends what guys. Like if it comes between Jaden Reed and Judy, I might play Judy slightly over Jaden Reed. Those are the two guys that's in the same type of tier. Like, you know what I'm saying? They right there at outside the top 24. Top end wide receiver, low end wide receiver twos, top wide receiver threes. I would go with Judy with Cortland Sutton out. That makes a little bit difference. But thank you for that does make a difference. I haven't mentioned that. But Judy illness does makes a little bit of difference, but I think he's going to be okay. Anytime, Ali. Strop City says McBride, Eckler, Zamir White, and Zeke need 3. I'm going with Zamir White. Eckler, and Zeke. Zamir White, Eckler, and Zeke. Steven says, yo, week 2 of championships, PPR down a bit and need to make up some points. Sit 1. Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones might end up being the number 1. So I'm not going to chase that he might could be the number 1 guy of those groups. But you cannot sit on Devontae Adams. You can't sit Cooper Kupp, and you can't sit DK Metcalf with that boom potential. So I'm going to have to say Aaron Jones. It's just a process of elimination. It's not me knowing hindsight what's going to happen. If Aaron Jones goes out and be the number 1 RB or number 1 player in fantasy, there's nothing I can do about that. But I can't tell you to play him over any one of those guys. Maybe I could tell you to do it for DK, maybe, but I still wouldn't do it because DK got a lot of upside. He can give you an 80-yard touchdown, which is boom, in a type of a best ball type setup. I know it ain't best ball, but it's a 2-week championship, so you need points. Guys like DK. What's going on, Second Take? What's up, bro? He says Lamb had a huge week for me, for my guy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said you must have been sweating with that Cowboys game. No, bro. I wasn't. I had Amon Ra. That's why I was sweating. Again, man, like I said, I love my Cowboys, but outside of a playoff game, I don't really sweat for them like that anymore. Maybe in a playoff game, I do. When fantasy is over. Appreciate that Second Take. Appreciate that, bro. Armado says, I have McBride and DKN. Also have London and Evan Ingram on the bench. Should I leave it as is? Yes. McBride and DK should be in there. London and Evan Ingram can't. Evan Ingram is a good a good tight end. It's been balling out, especially with Trevor Lawrence being in there. But I would play McBride over him any day. McBride is the number 1 wide receiver on that team. Steven says also start Stafford, Stroud, or Mayfield. I'm going with Stafford over Stroud and Mayfield. But all those are good starts. But I would rank them as in Stafford, Mayfield, and Stroud. Stafford, Mayfield, and Stroud. Appreciate that, SoCal. Appreciate that, bro. Yes, sir. He says Zamir White, James Cook, Zeke, Eckler need to bench one in PPR. I'm going with Eckler because I believe that they're playing against the Denver defense. The Denver defense can be ahead with the run game. So I don't want to be disingenuous. I do think Eckler is a top 24 running back this week. That offensive coordinator is trying to establish the run. He's making that team tougher. Zeke, with no Ramondre Stevenson and the way he's blocking, he's going to get plenty of opportunities, even if just a bunch of catches or one touchdown. James Cook is a boom guy, boom bust guy. He's one of the biggest boom bust running backs there is in the game. You could sit James Cook for Eckler. You could do Eckler, Zeke, White. Or you could do Eckler, Cook, and White. But I'm going to sit Eckler to me. I'm going to tell you to play Zeke, Cook, and White because those guys are getting a lot of workload. They're getting a lot of workload. Sometimes Cook gets snipes on the goal line. So, like I said, if you want to go White, Zeke, and Eckler, I don't think that's bad either. So let me rank them real quick. I'm going to go with White, Zeke, Cook, Eckler. White, Zeke, Cook, Eckler. Marvin says, hey, yo, DK in or out today? He's in. He's playing. Yeah, they say he's questionable, but he's playing. It was a back issue. Yep, anytime, bro. Anytime. It's snowing here in Chicago. Okay. I still like Justin Fields. That doesn't scare me. Maybe I'm being disingenuous and being crazy. Now, if it was a heavy wind snow, like the ball is fading to the left and right, no, I'm not playing that. But snow games, quarterbacks eating snow games, especially Justin Fields, when he can run that peel. So that's even better for him. Where the defense can be slipping and he take off, you can't turn around and go catch him when he already going forward. So I like Justin Fields in the snow game. He played in Ohio. He can play in cold weather. Appreciate you, Travis. Appreciate you. Amado says, thanks for everything, bro. In 2 championships, could have been in 3, but trusted Purdy last week. Oh, well, that's how it goes sometimes. It is. There's nothing you can do, bro. Second take says CJ or Collar. I'm going with CJ slightly over Collar. I'm not going to go that low over CJ. Now, a lot of guys I like I like Matthew Stafford and Baker Mayfield over CJ, but not Collar. Ozzy says, I understand going for it first time, then 3 times. Come on, man. Right. The second time, I think, was the worst time. The third time was actually decent, but that second time was terrible. That's just my 2 cents on that. Second text says, Rams or Eagles defense. I'm going with the Rams defense. Amado says, in my other league, I got Devontae Adams and lock it in, but have Addison and Robinson and Shaheed on the bench. Should I leave as is? I got Devontae Adams and lock it in, but I have Jordan Addison Robinson. Yeah, I would keep Adams and lock it in. I wouldn't try to get Shaheed or Addison in, especially not even Robinson. And look, Robinson got touchdown upside, but I'm not taking out Adams and Lockett for that. So I would keep Adams and lock it in. I wouldn't chase those points. Not saying they can't boom. I just wouldn't chase that. Lamo City says Josh Jacobs officially out. Let's go. Yes, sir. Strop City says Bears, Broncos, or Raiders defense. I'm going to go with Broncos slightly over the Raiders, then Bears. Broncos, then Raiders. If you want to go with the Raiders instead of Broncos, nothing wrong with that. Amato says, I'm also thinking about starting two sneaky LBs, EJ Speed and K Hudson. Let's get it. Bro, that's a but. Listen, I know DST. That's deep DST. I don't know who those guys are. So you might be onto something. I can't give you no input on that. Like I said, I don't cap like I know things that I don't know. You might be right on those two guys. I have no clue about those two guys. I think I know who Speed. I heard Speed, but Hudson's I haven't heard of him. I haven't went that deep. I draft my linebackers in my IDP leagues high. I love to get great linebackers. I draft them early, like running backs. Well, actually, I'm a zero RB guy, but I'm not a zero LB guy. Second take says Zamir White, King Henry, Ken Walker need one. I'm going with Zamir White over King Henry and Ken Walker. Alisa says Flowers, Lockett, or Reed have PPR. I'm gonna go with Jaden Reed because I think he has more touchdown upside more than Lockett and Reed. Jaden Reed could get a rushing touchdown, so that's the deciding factor because he can rush for a touchdown and he get a lot of targets in the red zone area. He says, I put Pittman in over DK. I respect that. I wouldn't do it, but I respect that. I would keep DK in for the boom. JS says, hey, bro, Zamir White or Derrick Henry? God bless you. I'm going with Zamir White slightly over Derrick Henry. Second take says, Addison, Madison, London need two. I'm going with London, and I guess I have to go with Addison over Myers. I can't trust Myers. Ozzy says, I got all 1 p.m. guys except for Arbery. I like it. No waiting. Yes, sir. Second take says, spam 100 if you in the chat. Show some support. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, second takes. Appreciate that, bro. Guys, let's get the likes up. We got 33 likes. Listen, we at least need to have 40 likes. 40 likes, guys. Appreciate that second take. Yes, sir. Stokehouse says need to bench one. PPR, Zamir White, Cook, Eckler, Zeke or Eckler. Need to bench one. Let me make sure I answer that last question correctly. Oh, need to bench one. Okay. So I did rank them for you. I think I answered that question that way. Again, it would probably be Eckler. Then I would say or James Cook. Eckler or James Cook. Appreciate you, bro. Yep, I think we did that one already. Isaac says, always, yes, sir. Kevin says, bro, A-Chain, Kamara, JT, who you sitting? I would say Kamara slightly because of the sickness, and an A-Chain has no Mostert. So we got to put Mostert on the field. So I'm going to say, we got to get A-Chain on the field. So I'm going to say A-Chain and JT and sit Kamara. That's tough, though. That's tough. I don't feel great about sitting no Kamara in any type of situation. Appreciate that, Kevin. Amy says, thank you. Appreciate your realness and candor. You're the best. Thank you. Millie says, 4 PPR, Todd Chandler, Jaden Reed, or Lockett. I'm going to go with Jaden Reed over Todd Chandler and Lockett. Zay Flower, Denzel says, Diesel says, Zay Flowers or Puka Nacua, injury status changed to healthy. I'm going with Puka Nacua over Zay Flowers. JC says, Puka or ETN. That's tough. I'm going to still go with Puka over ETN. That's tough, though. ETN need to be starting. He's a top 12 running back, but Puka is a top 12 wide receiver. So I'm going with Puka slightly over ETN. Kenny says, Texans zesty. Pause. Matchup against Tennessee or the Raiders. Right. They are. They got a decent matchup. I still go with the Raiders slightly over the Texans. I'm still going with the Raiders. OD says Zamir or Flowers. I'm going with Zamir even in 4 PPR over Flowers. I'm going with Zamir. Robert says, so I'm playing B. John over Connor and Kamara. Whoo! I'm okay with that. I don't feel like that's easy to say. I like Connor a lot, and Kamara's still a top 12 running back in 4 PPR. But I could say that if I would want to sit B. John. I wouldn't want to sit B. John with that type of talent. I just wouldn't want to sit that. That's just me. I could be very, very biased. I'm probably am biased to B. John talent. Jeffrey says, bet. Yes, sir. Daniel says, Drake London or DeMarcus Robinson. I'm going with Drake London. Yes, I like Zamir Wright with the Raiders. I do, Marvin. Tony says, good morning. Need a flex, PPR, Mixon, Godwin, or Todd Chandler. I'm going with Godwin over those guys. I'm going with Godwin. Marvin says, hold up. I got Zamir White, Higgins, or DK as a flex. Confirm it, please. I'm going with DK over Zamir. But it depends on if you in standard. If you in standard, you got to go with Zamir White. If you in PPR, you need to go with DK. Marvin says, yo, I got DK in or out today. They said these questions. He's in. Robert says, is Komet playing? Yes, Komet is playing. M. Dave, what's up, bro? He said, dog, need 1 runner back and 2 flex, 4 PPR, wide receivers. Higgins, Adams, Smith, running back Saquon, Connor, Zeke. Good looking out. So 1 running back, it would be, I'm going with Saquon over Connor and Zeke. And my 2 flex would be Adams and Smith. Adams and Smith. Russ Maniac. What's going on, Russ? What's going on, bro? He said, should I start A-Chain over Barkley or Taylor because Mostert isn't playing? No, I wouldn't start A-Chain over Barkley. I would try to get A-Chain in. I would definitely try to get A-Chain in my lineup, but I'm not starting him over Barkley. Barkley is a top start for me every week. I don't care what type of matchup or what's going on. Billy, he says, yo. Brando said, what up, my man? What's up, Brando? Billy says, Henry or Dobbs? 4 PPR, I'm going with Henry. Yes, I'm going with DK over Pittman. I'm going with DK over Pittman. Mr. Sleeper says, what? Yo, what up, bro? DeMarcus Robinson or KJ Osborne for flex? Have a great year. You too, bro. I'm going with DeMarcus Robinson over KJ Osborne. Yes, sir, Robert. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Diesel. Brando says, glad I didn't start Pollard last night and I went against Gibbs, so I got a chance. Yes, sir. Great job. Hey, TD, Komet or Goddard? I'm going to go with Komet slightly over Goddard. Brandon says start 2 out of Pacheco, Saquon, Diggs, Zamir. I'm going with Saquon and Diggs. I'm going with Saquon and Diggs. Yes, DK over Pittman. Gibbs, Robert says Gibbs, K Will, B John, A-Chain to the moon. Let's go. I believe that too, bro. I agree 100%. And JC says Chark or Thielen. I'm going to go with Adam Thielen in 4 PPR. And sir, what's going on? He says really Chase, Robinson, Osborne need 2. I'm going with Chase over all those guys. And I would say Chase and Ridley. I will go with Chase and Ridley. And Billy Blank says, good look, fam. Anytime, bro. Okay, go with DK. Go with DK in 4 PPR over Zamir White. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody just tuning in. Yes. Yes, sir. Sir says, is he playing because he's late a game and he got a Q tag? Yes, Chase is playing. Chase is playing. Love you too, bro. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Y'all be safe. I'm gonna get ready to get out of here, set my lineups. Let's get these championships, guys. I will probably be going live tomorrow morning. That'll be my last day off. So I will be going live and let y'all know like some of my strategies, what happened with my lineups. Hopefully this could be my first championship. I've been doing this for about 4 years now, as far as competitively in fantasy. I've been breaking down players for over 20 some years. So let's hopefully we get some championship this week. Yes, sir. Thank you, Travis. Thank you. Yes, sir, guys. All right, guys, y'all be safe. Peace.
Okay, turn me up. They don't want no smoke, I'm in my bag. Bitch, I'm rolling up. They say this shit hot. Hot, bitch, I'm burning up. Yeah, let's talk some business. Ain't no money, I ain't showing up. Don't know how.